Hello, my little Liebfrau Milches, and welcome to the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. This has been a really difficult week, folks. After the game on Sunday, I hung in and did that show, but I had done damage to my knee in rehab and torn something that felt like it had torn right across my quadricep, and I was unable to walk for 2 days. I'm back up and around now, and it looks like I just overdid rehab, and I may have torn some scar tissue that was in the knee. So I just kind of plunder on, just being the cow that I am. And that's why I'm here on a Friday, because, hey, I wouldn't miss this last Browns week to save my soul. We got 3 panelists right now on the panel, and I'm going to glide over to Mr. Moohead's chat room. It's a wonderful place in the neighborhood. Okay. Want to say hello to Roxanne. Roxanne shows up. Hey, give it up. Give it up.
Loyal fans here.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, this time of the year, believe me, this time of the year is very difficult as far as getting viewers, because everyone's got holiday commitments. Everybody is, or is rehabbing a knee replacement, or like Derek has just gotten a fucking buzz cut and looks like somebody who should be wearing Doc Martens and terrorizing people of color.
Thanks.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Merry Christmas to you too, buddy.
Derek, I'll tell you, Derek's got a new microphone. Look at that. Roxanne is noticing the sheer size of your mic. Look at that.
I got mic arm. I even got a boom.
But... You got a boom, all right. Boom, I got your girlfriend. I got your girl. Okay, now, that's a big mic. I
think I just messed this up.
You got big mic confidence now. So that makes you a better broadcaster.
I got to get a little bit more professional. I mean, I went from mic on the desktop to an even worse mic from Walmart fighting people at Black Friday to now hopefully a good mic. I don't know how I sound to you guys, but every test I did, I sound good.
Yeah, now Trump has officially de-designated Black Friday because he finds it offensive and racist.
Well, I'm too cheap to spend the money on the stuff anyway, so I guess I'm not shopping anymore.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm just happy to be doing the program today, and couldn't figure out, we were a little late today, and I apologize, but the headset, I don't know what was going on. It was showing 100%. When I backed it off, then I could hear everybody. It's like, yeah.
By the way, if you like the mic, this is the box. I don't know if you can see it, but so... This is, I think it's a newer company, but they have very good quality stuff for a good price. So if you're looking for a mic,
can I ask you something?
Sure.
Does this look like a YouTube unboxing video? Is that what this looks like to you? I'm just curious.
Hey, you know what? Hey, whatever gets the likes,
Okay. Well, Derek, you're learning quickly.
And just like that, our chat room total is doubled.
And Mercury did say likes and
comment,
not
subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh God! Yeah, you're right. We've actually doubled from 4 to 8. And Roxanne says your mic is of an impressive size, Derek. So that should make it very easy for you. Now the problem is it's going to make it easy for you in San Francisco. We've got to try to figure out a way to make it easy for you in Ohio. All right. So Mr. X is asking immediately, so what's up? Do we win and end the season good, or lose and keep the Steelers out of the postseason? And let's talk about the Browns, because this is going to be a slightly different kind of program. I can go through all of the dog and pony show things here and give you all of the statistics and tell you everything you need to know. I actually know more about the Ravens because I've been watching them every week. So I'm watching what they're doing. But in the end, it only comes down to one thing. One thing. I sound like Curly in that Billy Crystal movie, City Slickers. Comes down to the one thing, and that is, can the Ravens put in this
Hoping you won't have a heart
situation
attack on a rock.
for the second year in a row. They've had an opportunity in the final game of the season to end the season not just on a high note, but to get into the playoffs. And last year they lost to the Bengals. So this year is all about, can they get over the hurdle? The interesting thing is the people who are the great speculators, oh yes, I'm the great speculator, said that their coach was on our radar. Now, John Harbaugh is not a guy who I want as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, okay? I want to make that eminently clear. But he's off the table now because the Ravens have given him a multi-year deal, and I know from our first go-around playing the Ravens that Ravens fans fucking hate him. They hate what he's done to this team, and he has turned the Ravens into old AFC North football. Old blood and guts. I'm going to fall back on that defense. I'm going to fall back on the spirit of Ray Lewis and give him a knife. And I'm just going to get the ball down the field and score just enough points to win. Which you know, I know, we all know, isn't really good enough to get the job done in today's NFL. And I'm thrilled that the Ravens are offering him a multi-year deal. They can fucking have him. All right? This is what it's about for them. The pressure in front of their home crowd, they have to get it done. They failed last year, and they're up against, of all people, who they are, the Cleveland Browns. This is the Browns against the Browns. Make no mistake about it. We haven't forgotten Northeast Ohio. We have not forgotten.
Nor have we forgiven.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
And that's why we still visit Art Modell's grave and urinate on it. Okay? And just for the fun of it, David Modell's too. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 deal, folks. It's a 2-for-1 deal. We find him and we urinate on him, and then we find the grave and we urinate on Art, and then Art's wife, we urinate on her grave, and you know, we have a golden shower fixation here at Moohead Radio. So that's what it's about for them. What is it about for us? Oh, I'll tell you. And I want to start by sharing a little story with you.
Story time with Mr. Moohead.
Yes, that's right. When I bought a radio station in Flint, Michigan, there was a radio station called WIOG in Saginaw that was the #1 station in Saginaw, the #1 station in Flint, Michigan, and they were 80,000 watts of sheer screaming holy terror until a cow came to town. And a cow attacked their format in such a way that it brought them to their knees. Another radio station in town, one named WCRZ, Cars 108, lauded Mr. Moohead and said, "You're doing a great job, Mr. Moohead," because we divided the top 40 market in Flint, and they had an adult contemporary radio station, and they went to the top of the ratings, so they loved me. And one time out in public, their general manager said to me, "You know, you've just done such a great job. We just love what you're doing over there." And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, but are you going to love it when I run you over? You stupid fuck. You think I'm just targeting one person? They were first. You're next." This is what it's about for the Cleveland Browns. We always talked about this when we were losing. If you want rivalries, win. If you want rivalries, punish the other team and hurt them in the biggest way possible. If you're playing the Ravens, take them out of the playoffs, and the Steelers are going to look at you and laud you and say, "Gosh, you're doing a great job over there in Cleveland." And you look at them in the eye and says, "You're next, you peanut in the nose picking cocksuckers. We hate you in Pittsburgh. We hate you worse than we hate Baltimore."
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yes.
Not me. No.
No. Hey, you know.
This is that whole Star Trek 4 deal of guys like Italian. No.
Yeah, look, I mean, I am positive about who I hate the most, the Steelers. And
I agree.
if we do one little thing that is nice for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it isn't because we like them. It's because we're going to bloody them next. And Baker is going to get them.
I already got a $50 bet on us beating the Steelers at least once next year.
Hey, we tied them once this year, and we weren't anything when we did it. I say
with Tyrod starting.
Oh, we beat the Steelers now, baby. We beat the Steelers now. The way you get these rivalries, and it's real simple, is by winning football games. You hurt somebody, make their fan base feel the hate and the misery that we have felt for decades. And we're finally in the position where we have a chance to do that. That's all this game is about for the Cleveland Browns, is establishing the end of this season to have a winning record, but really to McGruff the crime dog them, to take a bite out of the Ravens.
Well, and don't forget this. Baker's only 3 touchdowns away, passing touchdowns away to break the rookie touchdown passing record. So
breaking a record is one thing, but breaking Baltimore's
Uh-oh.
yeah, I was gonna say, is that just me or is that everybody?
No,
That's
he's just gone into the frozen state.
He's gone.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your new host. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
But yes,
anyway.
next year, 2019 is a different story. For this year, well, actually, for me personally, I will always hate Baltimore because of the stench of Art Modell until my dying breath. I will hate them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
hate them some more.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, there he is.
Hold on a minute here. I got to do something about this before this happens.
Now there's 2 of you.
That was really weird. There's 2 of me now. Great. Lovely.
I looked at
Mr. Moohead.
frozen face.
Wait,
Mr. Moohead, what do you think? Okay, that's
live
great.
or is it memory?
Hey, guys, can you open the door here, please? Hey, Faber!
Oh, that is.
Joe
Save that as a new profile pic.
God, they can't hear a thing. They're
All those who pick Mr. Moohead to be bipolar, raise your hand. You have proof now.
I can't get a hold of anybody here. Can you believe this? I got a 23-year-old Filipino who's like Agador Spartacus in that goddamn birdcage movie, got the headset loud, singing along, and can't hear a goddamn thing I'm saying.
Somebody said Moo has left the barn.
Yeah, I just it's just
Moohead to 2-head there.
Yeah, my God, at least I have remained. I can't get a hold of it. I'm going to try one more time. Pardon me for yelling and screaming, but it's the only way because I can't get up.
The echo just went away.
Okay, hold on. Hey, somebody out there! Hey, hello! I just want to say
a cow is down. The cow is down.
I have never in my life seen people who are fucking deaf like this before in my life. This is just unbelievable. I could be dead in here. I could be dead.
Hey, it's 2018. Don't you know you're supposed to tweet them or text them? That's the only way to communicate with anybody.
I'm sure what happened is my signal got blocked because I closed the door because Agador Spartacus was singing off key. And I just didn't want my listeners to be subjected to that horrible thing. God damn.
Oh my God.
Not
only off key, but in Tagalog.
Tagalog. Say it right if you're going to say it.
Tagalog.
Finally, a show with the soundtrack. All right.
God. John Doe is saying, somebody find that clip where Hugh was screaming at Freddie for calling good plays in the Detroit preseason. And Brian Shane says the Browns have never swept the Bengals and Ravens in the same season. I don't know, but all I know is this. This is what the game is all about. I can give you an analysis very quickly of this game. The Ravens are winning, like I said, via old school. old school football. And I look at their stats and I pull this shit up. And here's what you wind up with. Lamar Jackson has a 58.2% completion percentage. He's thrown for 1,022 yards, averaging 7 yards a completion. Flacco 6.5, to give a comparison. There is that one long pass that Lamar Jackson threw to his tight end that went for a touchdown. Flacco's been sacked 16 times. Lamar Jackson, with his great escapability, has still been sacked 14 times. He has a QBR of 47.8, an overall rating of 84.9. The problem here is the running game and the fact that nobody is stopping the running game, and here's why. They are going to miss.
He's 127 rushing attempts. He's averaging per rush. That's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson at 4.8 per carry, and Gus Edwards with 5.1. And Lamar Jackson has 605 yards, and Gus Edwards has 642. Alex Collins had 411. So, I mean, they're getting a lot of yardage on the ground. And the way they do it is through real misdirection, which is not good news if you're a Cleveland Browns fan because of our overcommitting defense. You know, in order to defeat this team, you have to put pressure on the quarterback. In order to do that, you have to stop the run. But in order to stop the run, you have an extra problem here. And that is they can go right up the gut and blast you straight forward with Gus Edwards, who's averaging over 5 yards a carry. Or they can fake that and go wide and misdirect you and influence block you in the middle and let him be evasive, let Lamar Jackson be evasive around the outside and gain yardage that way. So it's not a long-term blueprint of success in the NFL. However, it's kind of the equivalent of a team playing a zone in the NBA. It confuses the bejeebers out of somebody. That's what it does. And, maybe if I had a phone here. Do I have a phone that I could actually? No, I can't reach it. Well, maybe I can. Go ahead, talk, guys. I want to try something.
Hey. Yeah, I was just going to say, talking about the switch between Flacco and Lamar, obviously we beat the Ravens before, but this is a whole new animal in my opinion. You got the key to beating the Ravens this time, number one, it's at Baltimore, so I think that's always a bigger effect than people give it credit. But for the Browns, they just got to be able to force him to throw and beat you that way. I feel like on defense, you got to be aggressive, but you got to be able to contain him, because if you don't contain him, he's going to have
Okay, hold on a second. Now I got their attention to a phone intercom. I've been yelling and screaming, and you can't hear out there. Could you leave the door open here? The reason is my signal went down.
Oh, I thought you were doing your show.
I am.
We were laughing. I said, "Oh my God, he must be."
No, I'm in the middle of doing the show. Could you open the door, please?
You love a good responsive crowd.
Yeah, the signal got blocked. That's why I went off the air for a minute. Fortunately, it refound the signal.
Okay, Derek, the problem with your theorem is that if you make...
Hold on, wait a minute.
All right, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, the problem with Derek's theorem is if you try to force him to throw, he throws mostly to the two tight ends, and the tight end position is what kills the Browns every fucking game.
Yeah, but I felt like you seen in the Houston Texans game, Stevens' team, I felt like you seen every time Deshaun Watson got loose, I felt like he was going for, 5-10 yards of carry. And I think with Lamar Jackson's a much better runner than Watson. And that's why I feel like, I understand what you're saying. And I don't think Lamar Jackson is a bad thrower, but he's going to have to develop in that field because, obviously he's going to take hits more and more. But that's just my opinion on how to beat the Ravens. Just contain Lamar. But
yeah, but see, even in that, even against the Chargers, who have a really good defense, he was able to hit the tight end for a 60-yard touchdown.
Well, and what he's doing, if that first read, is the middle of the field more often than not, and he is using his tight end very effectively. And again, the problem all starts with if you stop the inside run that they have, and that rushing inside the tackles, if you stuff that, then you only have to deal with two possibilities, and that's him throwing the ball or him running with the football. The problem is when you're giving up chunks of yardage, as teams have been against the Ravens, who are blocking extremely well up front, you're immediately at a disadvantage, because then it is like a triple option offense in essence. You have, the ability of this quarterback to throw the ball down the field. And look, folks, he may not be the best in the class, but he can throw the ball and hit receivers who are wide open because they're overcommitted.
He's a playmaker.
And we don't have any linebackers who are anywhere near as fast as this guy, so you have to contain the edge with this guy. So it is a difficult thing. It's not an easy thing to overcome. This is the challenge, and every team goes into them knowing that this is the case, and they're winning week after week after week. They've scored defensive touchdowns in 3 of their last 5 games.
They're the number one ranked defense in the league right now.
Yep. I mean, so they're doing themselves a ton of favors by getting the ball in their hands a number of times in a game and getting turnovers, short fields, all of that good stuff. And it all comes down to stopping the inside run. And that's not something the Browns have been particularly effective at. On the other side, what they're good at are 3-and-outs defensively. They're a great 3-and-out team. And what that does to a team like Cleveland, they get worn down. So this is all part of the physicality of the way the Ravens play. They wear you down as the game progresses, and then they hit you upside the head with a 74-yard pass to a tight end or a big chunk play, and then they go right back to grinding you. It is really very reminiscent of Bernie Kosar's first year in Cleveland, when you had the Mac Biner duo, who both gained over 1,000 yards, and Bernie was just being used, very conservatively before Lindy Infante got to town. That 85 season, where he honestly was, they were about a 500 team, and they were running the ball a lot, and he was throwing safe passes. That's exactly what the Ravens look like right now. A circa 1985 Cleveland Browns team with 2 running backs and a guy who might be an emerging young quarterback, but at this point is not carrying the full weight that a Baker Mayfield is. So, these are issues that we have to deal with. What do we have to do to hurt them? I mean, look, the fact that they have sacked the quarterback 43 times and they've been sacked 30 times, you can get to their quarterback and you got to try to put a hurt on that guy. That's one important thing that you can do. But you've got to block for Baker, and you've got to run the football. You've got to play physical with these guys, because they're not going to give up just big chunk yards just right out of the bat. If you can get ahead of this team and force them out of their pattern, it's important to take the muscle to them in the beginning of games. So now you know why
the aggressive coming out and start.
Now you know why the door was closed, because they're yelling and screaming in the kitchen. I can't fucking win to save my soul. I don't know. Somebody just fucking shoot me. Please, God, just shoot me. I'm trying to rehab a goddamn knee with a bunch of people who sound like they're. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody know the lyrics to the song Tusk by Fleetwood Mac? No, okay. No. Not even going to waste anyone's time
Right there, Tusk.
with that kind of stupidity. So let's go back to the chat room.
I can only do the bass part of it.
Let's see. Amsterdam. Mrs. Moo can't hear him yell. She's in the garage doing some welding on her tuk-tuk. Now, you see, I don't even know. I don't even know. I never know what he's talking about. I have no idea whatsoever.
I said
Still
no.
saying-
She's making. I said no. She's making a collie drawing carriage for you.
Oh God! Excited that we finally have national respect with the 425 flex and real announcers. Yeah, I mean that game has taken on significance because it's a winner take all, isn't it? I mean, or a loser lose.
Oh, we're gonna
all.
have Sunday night games next year. They're gonna want to see Baker Mayfield in the prime time.
Oh, well, there's no question. I mean, it was just like on Christmas. It was so funny watching what the NBA televises and why, the Knicks, well, because they're New York. Who wants to watch the Knicks? But that was the early game. And it was at 3:00 in the morning. So nobody wants to watch stuff. No, I'm exaggerating. It's what we call hyperbole.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, hyperbole. But nobody wants
I didn't
to watch
watch
the Knicks.
so.
Yeah. Except for Stephen A. Smith, who probably stayed up for it, But no, they put it in the early time slot when nobody gave a fuck. And then there is,
I loved how Will Kane trolled him so bad, throwing a Baker Mayfield jersey on him.
Yeah,
I seen that.
I don't like Will Kane, though. I really don't.
I just liked that.
Is he from Georgia?
Yeah, he's what he is he's a Trumper. That's what he is, and he's shameful.
Well, then he can't be all bad, right?
No, he's an idiot. The guy's an idiot. I don't want that. I don't want that to come loud and clear through ESPN. They got rid of Jameel Hill. They got rid of Jameel Hill for that shit. Get rid of his ass. If you're going to do the one thing, do it to the other.
Kellerman fucking get away with that shit too.
Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman was a boxing announcer. I never saw him as anything else but, I don't want Max talking to me about football. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. You want to talk about the comparison with, people coming out and talking bad about Baker. Basically, it's, the Colin Cowherds of the world is kind of like the CNN to Trump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about politics, but I'm saying they're not going to change their view no matter what. And this is what I don't understand. What is your problem that you keep putting a limit on Baker Mayfield because he stared down his old coach who was holding him back? He's going to keep breaking the barriers that you put on him. He's keep going to, pushing through all the criticism. So there's no point of you constantly coming out week after week after week, week after week after week. You're not going to learn.
Well, here's the thing with Baker Mayfield, and I get tired of, and I actually have people commenting on this show who are allegedly Browns fans saying Baker shouldn't be behaving like this. And it's like, something, you should be on your hands and knees just sucking someone off. I don't want to hear this. When you've been a doormat for decades, I don't want to hear that. He's 23 years old. I mean, if you knew Brett Favre when he was 23 years old, I'm sure he wasn't real mature. And I'm sure that his competitive grit got in the way. And maybe he said and did a few things that 3 or 4 years later, he wasn't going to do anymore. I love Baker the way Baker is. He's 23. He's excited. And he's walked the walk and talked the talk. So
that's the key.
And teams are going to come after him. Without a question, he is making himself a target in a very tough league. So, and he'll have his ups and he'll have his downs. But something, what we found out is that he knows how to win at the high school level, at the college level, and at the pro level. And we don't need Lincoln Riley. He can stay. And he said what I've said a million times over. I mean, who in the hell would want to work for a living when you could own slaves in a plantation and not do a bit of work and make millions of dollars? Why would you want any other life than that? And why would Lincoln Riley want any other life but being a college football coach where he illegally recruits people, they don't pay them anything, and they get revenue out the AWE, and they're paid better than professional coaches? Why in the hell? I mean, he's treated like fucking Caesar. Why wouldn't he want to stay there? I say, Lincoln Riley, stay there forever. Become the next Nick Saban. I don't have a problem. I just hate what you do for a living because you have a plantation mentality. What you have is you're taking advantage of young people and destroying their bodies, all in the name of revenue in college football.
But by all means, keep feeding us first-round picks.
Yeah, and no, no, here's the deal. The vast majority of people who make the money for Oklahoma and Alabama, they don't make the pros. Make no mistake. I mean, if you have a full roster of college players, how many of them actually make the pros? And the answer is, it's the sweat, the blood, the injuries, or whatever that push that university over the edge revenue-wise. And
we put out a lot of pros.
And what Lincoln Riley said immediately disqualifies him from the head coaching job of the Cleveland Browns. When he said, well, why would I leave? Why would I leave Oklahoma? It's called a challenge. It's called professional pride. It's called working with grown men instead of pushing young kids around, Lincoln. And if you're ready to be an NFL coach, because at one time in your life, things may not go so well at Oklahoma. You may find out that your athletic director is a pedophile. And the whole program is going to come tumbling down like it did on Joe Paterno, and you could be out of a job. The fact of the matter is you should never, ever go on public record and say, why would I ever leave this paradise? I mean, your paradise is built on the backs of 18 and 19 and 20-year-old kids. God damn it. And your millions and millions of dollars are built on that.
Well, think about this. Lincoln Riley can be the first coach to come into the Browns and actually have, in my opinion, and I think what we should expect for next year is overwhelming success. So for him, if you want motivation to leave. I can't talk. But if you want to go to the NFL and you're wanting to be looked at as the guy, I feel like he could go in and basically, I don't even think he'd have to do much. John Dorsey's going to surround him with the best players that they got.
I mean, Urban Meyer and his pressure headaches are going to come back somewhere. These guys never go away because it's never enough. The fact of the matter is, we keep talking about who do you want as a head coach? Well, we don't want him. We don't want Lincoln Riley now. Nope. And the list is they're going to be people who disqualify themselves as they go. And that's kind of the way it works. But I love Baker the way Baker is. And at 23, was it a little bit over the top, staring Hugh down? Yeah, but something? As fans, we couldn't do anything to Hugh. All we could do was watch Baker do that to Hugh. And
it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. What would you expect? Ohio State plays Michigan. Jabril Peppers spit on the O on the middle of the field.
Right.
They disrespect each other and they beat the crap out of each other. Why can't we hate you, okay? Why can't we come out and we can, fight against it on the field? It's okay to be cocky. I don't care. I get it. I understand you got to have a level of professionalism, but there's no reason why you can't come out and be cocky and back it up like Baker does every week. I'm tired of that argument.
No, it's no argument whatsoever. Perf Notch in the chat room is saying Amos Jones is the only current coach I want replaced. Greg Williams, kid, is doing an amazing job as defensive coordinator and Kitchens at OC. Keep this train rolling. Believe me, I mean, by the time people start disqualifying themselves, Kitchens is already solid as OC. I don't see him moving anywhere. And Greg Williams, the only thing I can see with Greg Williams is maybe a shorter deal, a shorter leash, but his agent isn't going to let that happen. So, I don't know. I'm still not high on Greg Williams as being a long-term head coach, but Kitchens at OC is fine. But they may feel as crazy as I think all this press is about Kitchens getting a look-see as a head coach, they may be grooming him and maybe re-signing Greg Williams is not such a painful situation if his heir apparent is already on the sidelines. So
it's a master and an apprentice. That's what that would be. And I
No.
could totally see that happening.
now Perfnotch is saying, hearing rumors that Arizona is going to get Kitchens to be their coach, and Grunge 2009 is saying, I'll take Greg for one more year. But, if you're going to sign Greg, you got to sign him to a multi-year deal. I mean, that's the only way that works. My feeling is that if you feel that the next guy who's your head coach is already on the sidelines, maybe that makes more sense. I don't know. But again, there is no argument against Baker Mayfield. It's a matter of winning or not winning. And it's a game about W's, not a game about L's. And maybe Cleveland fans just don't understand that because we haven't won for such a long time. I don't know.
Well, it's the fucking moronic questions that get asked at these pressers that just makes you want to reach through the screen and strangle the fucking living shit out of these assholes.
No, that's the nature of the press.
Worrying about some goddamn weak tit gesture that nobody else in the fucking stadium saw.
Did you see it, by the way? I have yet to see a video of that.
No. And then to come back and say, well, the kids are watching. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean,
football.
You know what I don't understand? Every Monday night for years, the suck it gesture, all right, by Triple H,
DX.
Suck it, now that's okay though. No complaints about that.
I want Baker to do
I don't know what.
Please.
I don't even.
By all means.
I don't even know what the gesture was that they're referring to because they keep saying it was captured on video, but it's not anywhere on video. You can't find it. So
no, and
they're setting him up for failure.
Nah,
I just did the extended mic'd up for Baker Mayfield in the Bengals game, and they don't even fucking talk about it. It's nowhere. He's got like 3 or 4 interactions. It's the extended version, so he's got like 3 or 4 interactions with Freddie Kitchens, and it's nowhere. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
If you looked at that touchdown completion to Fells, for God's sakes, I'd be geeked too if I made that throw. I mean, I don't even know how that was a completed pass, how he squeezed it in. I don't know how he squeezes in half the things he squeezes in. Baker Mayfield is the real deal. He is a young Brett Favre. He has a huge arm.
I want him to be my proctologist.
Yeah, I just think he's what we've been looking for. Over on ESPN, they were talking about what the predictions are on this game. Pat McManaman, our guy up Northeast Ohio way, so basically is picking the Ravens to win 23-20 because of the defensive prowess. And I think this is going to be one hell of a hard-fought game. Jamison Hensley is picking the Ravens 20-9. There's no doubt that the Ravens are the favorites in this game, but the whole question comes down to whether they can carry the weight of the importance and significance of this game. And you don't know that until you get into it. And if the second year in a row it starts going south on week 17, the fans are going to be very upset. It's going to take on, especially with them, re-upping Harbaugh, it's going to take on a Cincinnati Bengals sick of Marvin Lewis kind of scenario. And I could easily see the Ravens going down the shitter within the next 2 years. I just don't think Harbaugh's
not going to last long.
Yeah. And Lamar Jackson, I don't know how long he can play without getting hurt. That's the other thing. I mean, that's going to be a real challenge. Let's pick the game right now, guys. What do you see happening in this one?
Well, I'm going to continue my losing streak, so I'm going to, of course, pick the Ravens to win 20-17.
All right, and Derek?
All right, I'm picking the Browns 24-17. I was really close last week there for a hot minute. I don't know if you see my comment. I think I was what was the score last week? 21-18.
Oh, who's keeping track?
26-18.
26-18. I think I had 27-10. So I was close for a minute, but this week I'm going 23-17 Browns.
Yeah, and Steven isn't here to take the note. So, Rick?
Well, the way I see it, Browns are playing with house money. And this is the farewell performance for Ozzie Newsome as the general manager. So we'll bid him a fond farewell and make it Browns 21, Ravens 17.
And
we have to score first. And the over-under for Myles Garrett for offsides, I'm putting it at 2 this week.
That seems to be pretty consistent, too.
Do you guys think Baker's going to break the record?
No. 24-20 Browns, because I'm going down on my shield, and it doesn't seem to matter what I think, because usually it'd be like if I pick them to lose, they win. If I pick them to win, they lose. But the Browns just keep winning, so I'm just I'm just being a diehard fan and saying, let's win this one and let's set this up. There's nothing more exciting in Northeast Ohio than meaningful football. We haven't seen that for such a long time that honestly, if we had the Pittsburgh Ravens and Bengals all hating on us and we were really just putting a dent in them, it would just make everything so damn big in Northeast Ohio, and football deserves that spot after all that's gone down since 1995. They really deserve, the fans deserve it, and the city deserves it. So 24-20 Browns. I saw a headline, by the way, that I wanted to share with everybody. And when I see headlines, I always think to myself, what does it mean? And here's the headline, big time basketball hits Cleveland. And I said, well, I watched the game. I saw them play the Grizzlies. They were terrible. And then I realized it was the Harlem Globetrotters coming to Cleveland. That's the closest that Cleveland fans are going to see to real basketball, okay? Even though it's fake, okay? According to plus minus stats of ESPN, the worst player in the league is Colin Sexton. He who has no assist. Really? Oh, yeah. He who has no assist capability, no court vision whatsoever. You know who's only 4 behind him? That's right. Jetty the turnover machine Osman. I watch this team and I want to vomit. Jetty Osman makes me sick. It's like he's a Ritalin child. It's like, would you slow down, please? It's like he turns the ball over in more unique ways than any player I've ever seen in my life. And then there's Jordan. Yes, I shoot as much as Ricky Davis Clarkson. Make it stop. Please, dear
Somebody
God.
Drop a plate over there or what?
No, that's all. I can't stop the noise. I mean, it's come on, feel the noise. All right. Browns owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam reach agreement to purchase Columbus.
Behind his head. Huh? As a dish goes sailing behind his
yeah, right.
through the window.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. You sleep.
You're not on the air, are you?
Yeah. Browns owners Jimmy and Dee Haslam reach agreement to purchase Columbus Crew. Who gives a shit?
Yes.
Who
Save the crew. Hey, Mr. Moohead, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me defend. Okay, I'm in Columbus. I am not a big soccer guy, okay? But I have not seen a city, and I don't live in Cleveland, so I know that's what you're going to say. But I've never seen a city surround and just take care of this team more than they have. We had a crappy owner and Precourt here. Basically, when he agreed to be the owner, he basically said, okay, in the contract, I'm moving to Austin. Indirectly said that. He tried to rip the team out of Columbus, and basically we shut it down. And thank you for the Haslams purchasing the team, so now we can save the crew. And like I said, I'm not a big soccer fan, but it's good to see that we didn't get our team ripped away. So,
yeah. Here's another a headline that you just gotta love. Cavs struggling to find identity. It's like, no, the Cavs are struggling to find players. Okay? Fuck their identity. They don't have any players. Ante, the slowest man on earth, Zizic. I mean, they interviewed him at halftime, and he was like,
That's like the teacher and Charlie Brown.
yeah, oh my God. It's like we're short of players. All right. That's what I can tell you about that headline. Now, here's something else for you. Why was Purdue in a bowl game? Because they beat Ohio State?
They got to represent
don't
6
remind me.
victories, which qualifies them for a bowl game. Even if it put them at 500, you win 6, you're in.
Did anyone really want to attend the Purdue-Auburn game to begin with? I mean, what's the point? 63-14? I mean, fucking Appalachian State could have been in that bowl and done that well. I mean, you want to know why people don't take this shit seriously? It's all just a big money grab. I mean, that's not even entertaining.
Makes us look a lot worse.
I haven't watched one bowl game. Not one. I just don't care. No, I just don't care. I honestly don't care. I mean,
are you going to watch Urban's last game in the Rose Bowl?
No, because I don't want to see him clutch his head and fall to the ground. I know. I don't want to watch it. Nope.
We running this year.
And what would that mean?
We're winning the Rose Bowl. Urban's not done it yet, so we're winning the Rose Bowl.
And what does
and
that
we're going to
do
get
for you?
my guy from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes me happy. At least we won the Rose Bowl. I'd rather win the Rose Bowl than some other bowl game nobody cares about. At least the Rose Bowl has some history.
I have a suggestion, Derek, and you know, I'm like a father figure. Okay, I am.
Well, I don't have a dad, so
yeah. Go. Okay, this is good. This is good. You're a big Ohio State fan. I have a suggestion. Why don't you? You know, you have a bedroom, don't you?
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
All right. Do you have a DVD player and a TV in there?
I got my Xbox that plays movies.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I got a TV and all that.
Good. What you want to do is set up some porn. Okay, make sure mom's not around. All right. Set up some porn and run a pornographic DVD through your Xbox. All right, not an animated one. I mean a real one. Okay, high definition, the whole 9 yards. You can see the pimples on her ass. Right? Okay. Then what you do is while watching the porn, start singing the Ohio State fight song, and then proceed to dot your I. Okay.
Oh my God.
The machine, the Gatling gun of questions wants the link to get on the show.
Oh, Steven?
Yes.
Now 7 minutes before the end of the program. Well, Sunham Beach. Sunham Beach. Okay, let me.
So he can try to extend the show for an extra 47 minutes.
And I'm suffering with a bad knee. One more question, Mr. Moohead. How bad does the knee hurt?
Wait! I just got a text from my dad. He wants to know how your knee is doing.
I knew Dad would come through.
Yeah, he's going to turn me into Bruce Drennan. That's what he's gonna.
We're gonna have a Mr. Moohead injury report every week.
You know what I would do? I was thinking about this. You know, the only thing about the movie Jaws that I thought was unfortunate is that the shark didn't have a voice. It should have Bruce Drennan's voice. I think that would just be the perfect voice. It was like, and you know, I just bit somebody in half. You know, that would be the voice.
I'll have to show you the Family Guy link when they do the parody of Jaws.
No, okay.
My favorite cartoon right there.
How many cartoons do you watch, Derek?
That's about it right there.
Okay, well, that's good news. That's good news. All right. So I put the link in there, and still no Steven. So I don't feel compelled to hang around any longer.
It just now popped into the chat room. You got to remember that there's like a 3-minute lag between what we do on the Hangout and what shows up on YouTube.
Are you kidding? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. All right. First, what have I just typed in? Okay.
Eat.
Okay. I mean, that's not not 3 minutes, folks. That's not 3 minutes.
Well,
So-
but by the
I think
time-
it just takes Steven 3 minutes to go click, click, click. I think that's just what it is.
Yeah. Here's a headline. Patino reminded of Kentucky after Euro debut win. You know, Patino, die in Europe. You know, get some kind of a horrible infection and die. I'm tired of
well, if he keeps fucking his assistant coaches' wives, then
Yeah, fucking
absolutely
pimp.
he could die.
you. Guy's a pimp. Can't stand it. Just cannot stand it. So we've picked the games. I've done
maybe
everything I'm going to do.
We can get Calipari to do the same thing over there.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who sounds like a squid. Anyone whose name sounds too much like a
Johnny
goddamn squid.
Hey, that's what I call him
Calamari.
ever since Memphis.
John Calamari.
All right. So I'm done. I'm done for the day because I want to rest my leg. And sorry, Steven, but you know, shit happens. That's it for this edition of
happy New
Moohead Radio. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me. My ring is phoning, and so I got to get running.
Your phone is ringing.
Oh, well,
Stephen Rose on line
Same
one.
difference.
I'm
English.
dyslexic. I'm totally dyslexic. It's just terrible. Thanks,
Actually,
everybody,
it's
for tuning
Steven's dad on line one. He finally got through.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me. Go Browns. We'll be here at the half, man, and post game. I don't care how much my knee is swollen, how much it hurts. We are going to win this fucking game and break Baltimore's heart. Go Browns. Until Sunday. Hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.